Morning and welcome to Morning Pulse, the pulse of Nigerian politics. My name is Sharon Chuku. Joining me live in the studio, I have with me my co-host Ifoma Oji. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Sharon.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
You look good.
Thank you.
And how was your weekend?
Well, it's Utah season.
Yes.
And yeah, I had fun on Friday. I had fun. I guess Saturday, and then I had fun yesterday.
Fun throughout the weekend.
Yes, I believe you can see it in my eyes.
A
lot of fun in my eyes.
I can. And I'm sure the audience can as well. And I hope you had as much fun as the former did on the weekend. Now we're going straight to the headline we have for this morning. So the crisis inside the People's Democratic Party has taken a new turn. A faction aligned with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, commonly referred to as the Turaki bloc, is seeking a court order to unseal the party's national secretariat in Abuja. Now, the secretariat was sealed amid internal dispute and security concerns following deep diversions within the party's leadership. The move has disrupted party operations, stalled meetings, and raised fresh questions about how and who controls the PDP ahead of key political contests. Now, the Turaki bloc as well has argued that sealing the secretariat is illegal, undemocratic, and aimed at sidelining certain interests within the party. They insist that due process was not followed and that the action undermines the PDP's constitution and internal democracy. Now, this is really what has been going on. And I remember when we had a discussion about the fight, there was even a video we showed at their headquarters in Abuja and all of that. And I'm just asking, what is your take now with this latest development?
Okay, earlier they had convention. I think that should be around, is it September? At Ibadan, and that was where the new chairman for PDP party emerged in the person of Turaki, and Wike was kind of not in support of that. He was saying that that was illegal, and we heard one time that the party wanted to have inaugural meeting, yes, in the headquarters in Abuja, and we saw Wike-led faction, we saw Turaki-led faction, and we saw what happened, on that day. And I thought maybe to an extent, because of the fact that they now have a chairman, the chairman was going to kind of dissolve everything and try to bring them back together as one party ahead of 2027 election. But what we are seeing now is a contradiction. And then moving on to the story we have for today, which is the Turaki-led faction seeking a court order to unseal the barricaded offices, yes, in the distance. I don't really see a reason whereby a police should be sealing a party's office. It doesn't really,
even after sense. Their fight,
I don't see them. I think what we saw here, I think Turaki-led faction was actually saying that it was illegal for them to seal that without a court order. They didn't obtain permit from court before sealing it, so it's more like the the police kind of crossing their jurisdiction or crossing their own boundaries, which is not supposed to be so in a democratic nation. And not just that, I remember I'm trying to there's a thought in my head I'm trying to process right now, but I can't remember that. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say here is that I think at the end of the day, this whole thing is going to end in court. But it is quite sad that we're having a lot of divide in PDP. Since 2023, we've been seeing this divide back to back, and I'm asking, when is it going to be resolved? We thought that with the convention that and everything, and the expulsion, that everything is, but we can see that the principalities and powers of a particular party, which is Wike, is refusing to be expelled from the party. And we are still seeing the convention. They wanted to have their own convention, and they even condemned the previous convention there. So I think at the end of the day, it's left for the court to decide who is siding is the new chairman of PDP, the what is it called, the legitimate chairman that will be at the helm of affairs in PDP, or will it be Wike and his faction
and his cohorts?
Yeah.
And so what you're trying to say, what I'm getting from you, is that you think that the police acted in favor of the Wike bloc. But I think also going forward, a lot of Nigerians are already tired of the constant fight and bickering within the PDP. It seems it has gone on for far too long, and anytime it seems as though there is a headway or this is coming to an end, we hear something else come up in the news, in the headlines, and just this constant bickering is sort of reducing the respect and the trust people have towards the PDP, and you can just feel that in the air already. But still talking about that particular incident that even led to the police blocking and just sealing everywhere, which was, as you rightfully said, when they were trying to both have an inaugural meeting, both factions, on the same day, and the way and manner in which they conducted themselves, they really did not carry themselves as politicians or really as people with high standing status in the society. And I just wanted us to talk about that, the way they carried themselves and they fought that day. What image do you think this has changed the image that they have, or is it reinforcing the image that people already have of them?
Sharon, the truth is that I'm not even surprised, because we've seen a lot of disgrace from our leaders. So that particular incident that took place in Abuja,
Yes,
was not new to Nigerians, but it was quite sad that we even saw elderly men falling down, tear gas everywhere, and the rest of them. And I'm asking, you kind of try as much as possible to rear animals to make them follow in a particular in a certain direction, and the same thing with children in kindergarten. You made them follow a particular pattern or direction, and then you're seeing adults who are supposed to be fathers, who are supposed to be fathers, grandparents,
political figures,
behaving in such way. And I ask, what image or how are people going to be seeing them, apart from the public, who they've eroded their trust, eroded the credibility of the institution? Let's talk about international communities. Imagine having these political parties that's supposed to be standing as a formidable opposition party for the present ruling party. We're seeing this back and forth in their party. Is quite a disgrace. But I'm not equally surprised with the way the international communities are going to view us, because is it not that same party that they tagged as a terrorist organization? So them too, they will not be shocked, but it's a further disgrace and shameful thing to Nigeria as a whole and the citizens, because I believe there are a lot of reputable characters in Nigeria, but we keep on picking, it's not we that is picking, they keep on picking the wrong people in the wrong positions, and it doesn't look
it doesn't look well. It doesn't look well at all. And we're also seeing that recently. Shout out to the president who came out to because of the Yuletide season and Christmas coming forth this Thursday, he has come to reinforce his government stance on fighting banditry. But he, in an admonishment, warned that we shouldn't take alcohol and all of that, and just to kind of address the public, that public address. So I wanted us to talk a little about, do you think that it's high time the president intervenes in party politics? Because he can't even intervene because, he's from the opposition. But we've seen him, for instance, in Rivers State, where he called the state of emergency, the Supreme Court saying he has the right to do that. But, in a country where we practice democracy, and the president has come out times and times again to tell us about his stance with democracy, and we have a situation where we're moving towards a one-party system, all fingers pointing at the president, do you think that he should come and clear his name publicly and just exonerate himself from where the country is tilting towards?
Okay, before I answer this question, let me just digress a bit. I saw in the news, that should be yesterday, that the 130 children and staff that was kidnapped or abducted from Papiri school have been released. So it's quite, for me, is a good news, but Nigerians are still asking what are the of the terms of the release. Then moving forward to the question you asked, the thing there is that I don't think the president should involve himself with party politics, because I mean, he is, just like you said, in the opposition party, so it's left. I think he's even kind of excited.
You don't think he should clear his name, like, from the allegations against him that he's becoming an authoritarian? I don't really think maybe like he should do that. I think we have other pressing issues that he should handle than, you know, this whole this thing. He should tackle insecurity first of all, which he promised, like he said, that he was going to do starting 2026, that there will be zero tolerance and tolerance to banditry and terrorism, which we'll still look forward to, you know, seeing him stopping that. But at the same time, I think it's not really something that he should involve himself in. Let the parties that are involved here settle their disputes internally, which I think is really going to be a long ride for them to you know, settle, because a lot of people are saying now that these two divided factions, one now is pro kind of Tinubu, which is the Wike section. Yes, Wike faction that is pro Tinubu. So we are seeing maybe there's possibility that the president is kind of enjoying enjoying whatever is going on there. So it's none of his business. So I don't think he should weigh into it. All right, and then just still on this particular story, you know, the Kabiru Turaki faction of the People's Democratic Party is really just trying to approach the Federal High Court in Abuja. What are your expectations for the court proceedings when this matter is in court?
Okay, like Turaki said, according to him, he said it was quite unlawful for the police to seal the offices or the secretariat without legal backing. So I think they've gone back to court to settle that. So I think there's possibility that the court, I'm not really going to make a case for them, but there's possibility that the court is going to rule in the favor of Turaki. But there's equally higher possibility or higher chances that the court will equally rule in the favor of the Wike faction. Why did I say so? Remember when this convention, before this convention happened, that the court suspended the convention from happening pending on when they are done settling the issue, and then another court, that should be appeal court, yes, kind of said they should go ahead with the convention, which they later went ahead. So we are yet to know,
and now they are going back to that.
Yes. So we are yet to understand whether the Wike-led faction will be the ones in control and the helm of affairs in PDP, or it's either the Turaki-led faction. So at the end of the day, I don't know who the court is going to side, but we'll still see how that unfolds.
I think a lot of Nigerians as well want to see what exactly happens. And still talking about the Ibadan Convention, you know, during the time they announced the expulsion of Wike and a lot of other people as well, we saw that Wike came out to say that we should disregard the ruling or whatever they said during the convention, that they are just starting their December early. They're having their dirty December in November, and he says that he is not going anywhere. So with what is happening now, do you think that this is just as a result of Wike's stance on still remaining in the PDP?
I didn't get that question.
So I'm saying, right, with what is happening now and the blockage from the IG of police and the police force, do you think that that is as a result of Wike's stance on still remaining in the PDP?
Yes, definitely, because if he had what is it called, exited the party since he was expelled, I don't think we will be having this particular conversation, or they will be having this same internal dispute between them. It's because he refused that he wasn't he refused the expulsion.
He really loves the PDP.
He doesn't love the PDP. The truth is that he's actually there to cripple and make sure that the PDP doesn't resurrect. And you remember one time he said that nobody can actually expel him from PDP, and was it is it last week or last 2 weeks that he equally came out in the media to say that a lot of people that he came to the PDP before are now the ones expelling him, that can never happen. I don't know if you saw that news in the media. So it's more like he's refusing the expulsion, and he's saying that no matter what happens that he remains in PDP. But at the same time, Nigerians know his motive, that he's there to cripple the party, because I feel like if he means well for the party, this whole internal disputes and this whole divided
he would have made efforts to solve that.
Exactly, he would have made effort to solve that.
Exactly. I think I would agree with that. If he really, like you said, wants the best for the PDP, he would have made efforts to try and solve the issues, seeing that he claims to have been in the PDP before those that want to expel him. But it's also interesting to see the PDP losing its grip on power in Nigerian politics, as though this party that used to rule Nigeria all of a sudden is not even a worthy opposition for the ruling party. And for Wike especially, Wike has been an interesting character politically, from his stance in the PDP and him publicly and shamelessly supporting the APC or whoever defects from the PDP to the APC, and also coming out to publicly say that he is supporting the president, and wherever President Tinubu goes, that is where he is going as well. But let's talk about, just as we wrap up, the political strength of Nyesom Wike plus the president right now. It seems as though anyone that they disagree with, that they are able to, close the chapter of such person politically.
Sharon, was it last week that we talked about Godswill Akpabio, who is regarded as the third citizen of Nigeria?
Yes.
I think the first citizen, after the president, the second citizen is supposed to be Wike, to be honest with you, because I don't really understand why he's wielding such power. I don't really understand how he's able to do the things he do without consequences. And you ask, where is justice? Should I even talk about the atrocities that he has committed in Abuja? A lot of demolitions and people that are left on the streets. As of last week, I saw one that happened last week, and I'm like, why is this man doing this continuously? It's not even like that he's settling them, while demolishing their houses or something like this. And I'm still asking, why is it that the president is yet to address this particular case? Is it that there is something that he had an enclosed meeting and the president gave him this power to do whatever he wants to do without consequences? Maybe there is something that we are yet to that is yet to come to our attention, or we are yet to understand, that the president still needs to explain it. And I say it every single time, because I remember what happened in Rivers State when everything was going on, and how the president kind of weighed in and declared the state of emergency, which we are still asking up to today. Yes, we understand that the president have the power to declare state of emergency, but at the same time, does he really have the power to remove or suspend an elected officer in office? So we are yet to understand that this thing, but we could see exactly what's going on in Rivers State, and even after the reinstating Fubara, the whole tussle still continues. And I feel like Wike should really be tamed. I feel like he should actually be brought to order, because he's really losing it, to be honest with you.
And also, apart from him being tamed, I think we need to have a clear definition of the barricade or the walls of power that even the president can wield, because it seems that we already have what we know the president can and cannot do constitutionally. But for this present administration, we've seen them break the lines, the confines of that law, of that constitution, and then being backed by the Supreme Court and just every court really. And we really need to understand where the thin line is and where the line should be drawn. But still, just finally, as we wrap it up, now, the plaintiffs have argued that the continued sealing of the Secretariat has disrupted the party's daily operations, including administrative coordination, policy formulation, membership management, and election preparations. Now, I think my take home from this is the election preparations, right? We all know that, seriously, 2026 is already here, if we're being real, and 2027 elections, all eyes are on 2027 for the presidential elections, with their headquarters being sealed and them still having political crisis internally. Do you think that they can be prepared for 2027? Before they're even prepared, I think I have a question about who do you see emerging as the PDP presidential candidates? Do you have anyone in mind?
I don't actually. To be honest, I don't actually.
Some say P2B.
I don't think P2B is ready to go back to PDP, because he said at one time that he's not going back to PDP for some reasons which he stated then, and I think he sectioned it into one was personal, the other one he made everybody know about it, the party's ideology, and the rest of them he wasn't cool, and that is why we saw him defect to Labour Party. But at the same time, like I said earlier, I don't know who they are going to choose for their candidate for presidential election. But then the question that you asked, it is quite unfortunate that PDP, just like what you said, used to be one of the strongest party in Nigeria. To see that fall from 100 to 0 is quite sad and disheartening at the same time. And we are asking, who is now that party that is going to stand as opposition party for 2027 election? Because we are still seeing, was last week that we talked about ADC having their own internal party dispute or crisis. We are yet to see them resolving that anytime soon. And then PDP, the ongoing decision. So I think they are not even at all prepared for 2027 election. They are not at all, because I feel like if they are, number one, the whole factions shouldn't even come up in the first place. And not just that, even after the convention, we are supposed to see the party activities going on, but we are seeing the police illegally barricading their offices or the secretariat. And when the offices are being sealed, what do you expect? He's going to distort their activities, which we are seeing, and that is why Turaki led faction has gone to the court to seek for those offices to be unsealed so that they can carry up and plan ahead of 2027 election. But when we don't have them working assiduously as regards 2027 election, then we don't really have an opposition party. What I'm seeing here is that the victory is now for APC, to be honest.
All right, thank you so much, Ifomoji. I think that was an apt contribution, and the audience for as well. If you have any other opinion as to the matter, you're free to do that in our comment section. Thank you very much once again, Ifomoji, for joining me on the conversation this morning. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please endeavor to do so right away and follow us across all social media as Active Citizens. You can find me as well at Sharon Enemchuku across all media. And you, Ifoma?
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Mr. Lex.
All right, till we'll come your way later today. To have a good morning.